Yo, Hustler, what's up? Good night to you. I'll call it Magic Ruler. Yeah, I was kind of back and forth on if I was going to call it Magic Ruler or Spell Ruler. I don't know. Spell Ruler always just sounded kind of weird to me, you know? And I feel like I've just always called it Magic Ruler. So, you know, I think it just sounds better, doesn't it? Don't you agree? Just making sure. Cool. Got shared on my Discord. Heck to the yeah. I dig that. Sure about picking up one of the old boosters. They do have the 25th anniversary ones, uh, which you could probably get for cheap, of like Spell Ruler. So if that's your jam, then there you go. Probably get them on TCG Player, in which use my affiliate link down below so I can get some kickback on that. I don't get kickback on that too often, but I gotta share it out when I can. I never ended up getting one of those magic. I've only got the Metal Raiders and Pharaoh's Servant box. If if TCG Player did more of their like kickback sale things, I'd probably have gotten more of them by now. But they don't really do those that much anymore. I've noticed they used to do it like once in a while, but it seems like it's once in a blue moon, which I don't understand why that is. Oh, the older ones. The older ones, I mean, I don't know. It depends on like what exactly you're looking for. I mean, if you get Spell Ruler, like, yeah, you're gonna have like the cards are gonna look slightly different. Yo, what's up? History of Yugioh and what is up? Money no globs. Um, yeah, like the cards gonna look like slightly different, but like they're still the same cards. You know what I mean? Unless you got one of the uh one of the other reprints that was still Spell Ruler, but not like 25th. Like one of the ones from the tins, perhaps. Not first ed ones. Those you might be able to get for a little bit cheaper compared if you're looking like a first ed magic ruler. But no, I enjoyed these are going to be harder to rate. I feel like the last two were fairly easy. Now, obviously, these once again preamble, which I'm sure I'll repeat myself. A lot of these are also the new art for them, or the different kind of arts, like Spellbinding Circle is OCG. Guardian of the Throne Room is a reprint art. He's got like the green missiles. Um, I don't think Performance of Sword is edited at all. I know they fix her art in Speed Duels. Got OCG, Senju. Let's see what else we got. Shiny Angels OCG. Spear Curtain looks like the OCG. Um, Axe and Spare's OCG. Have we got Lost Art of Axe and Spare yet? I think we have. We should go on a Spellbinding Circle. That'd be sick. That. Let's see. Is there any other OCG Mystic Tomato? That might be it. Word. Stream's lagging. Hopefully, it's not lagging too bad or anything. Yeah, I mentioned it was like OCG Shiny Angel. Did I say not OCG? What was the Spirit Cretans thing that he had? Yeah, he looks naked in this. He also has like horns and shit. You don't even want to open it. I mean, yeah, I guess that's fair. If you're looking to get that, then yeah, might as well. Although, honestly, to be fair, I feel like the packs are made to be opened, right? So I feel like you're kind of depriving yourself of having that experience of opening a Magic Ruler pack. Now, what you can do is open it, and I don't remember. I've seen this before, but you can actually take like the pack and like basically wrap it around a card, and you can put that in a binder. So you still have like the pack stuff. Because otherwise, you're essentially just buying like paper, right? I don't know. I mean, I've definitely thought about doing that before. I just haven't, convinced myself to do it because of said reasons. By the way, we got 5 years, but only 2 likes. Something doesn't add up. The math does not add up. But yeah, like I've said earlier, which I'm probably gonna repeat, or I was gonna say earlier, but probably repeat myself. So this list that I'm doing is going to be uh kind of based on like all encompassing of the TCG, so not the OCG, not speed duels. This isn't just historically, this isn't just modern, but just all encompassing of like what makes the card. Sometimes they might be higher because they were like only good at this certain time. That still counts for like the card being playable, especially in this set. Typically, S is like, this is GOAT tier, right? Is like it's super great card, will always remain like relevant. Well, within reason. Hans, what's up? Snatcho got banned twice for it. I am banned it again. That is true. Satchiel's good. A it's also going to be like a very similar, very good card. Not be as like impactful as S. B is like a good card, like they can do stuff. C is like they might have a use, but it's going to be more of a niche scenario. And then D is just like trash. That's our trash tier. So that's the way we've been formulating this in the last couple streams. Which, if you missed those, definitely check those out for uh, Metal Raiders and Legend of Blue Eyes. I've also have some goodies in the corner here, and I didn't even realize it, but I'm wearing green for Spell Ruler, for Magic Ruler. So I'm already like hip with this set. I got the green chair, got the green bed covers there. It's all green today, except for like the stream layout, which is in perpetuity currently of this sunsetty gradient color. Explorer has so many cards that age well until today. We can say that for, I mean, any like horrendous format. I really should get like figure out better branding for my channel. Really, I'm really just kind of winging it, honestly. Just doing things I think kind of look kind of cool, like my design wise. But I think it'd be fun one day to like hire like someone to go and do branding for my channel. Figure out like colors, like logos and stuff. But all that shit costs money. I don't got that kind of money right now. I haven't been paid in months. but I got to stream. So, but yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun today. I think a lot of fun this stream. Hopefully, we can get up to 5 likes. I know we're at 3 currently, but hopefully, we can get to that 5. They actually recently, I guess last year, they reprinted this in the was it Maze of Memories as a rare. They gave a rarity bump to the Labyrinth Wall, which is kind of funny. So hopefully everyone's having a good time. Ooh, we got 4 likes. We got one more. It's a very nostalgic set. I definitely remember like picking this set up a lot. Um, I think the first time I actually even got a Magic Ruler pack, I think it was out of KB Toys. I think it was out of KB Toys, and I remember, I believe I got a crab turtle, and this was like in the mall, right? And I remember being like, "Ooh, blue card, that's really cool." I've surely had ways to summon it out. I feel like that and Hungry Bird, I definitely had the cards for. I don't think I had Performance of Sword, and I think eventually I got a Relinquish, but it was that might have just been through the starter deck, Pegasus. But otherwise, I'm trying to remember like some of the cards I got. I don't remember anything being like too impactful. Like none of the hand rips. I don't think I got tunes because I think a lot of it, you got all these like Pegasus tunes and stuff, and I feel like some of my memories kind of stem from the the starter deck Pegasus. Yo, insane brobot, great name. What's up? Yes, I love MRL. Please keep doing this. I intend to. People have clearly been enjoying them thus far. At least the last two. We'll see if they peter off or not. But I would like to at least do the DM era sets, and then we'll see about GX. How people are feeling about that. I definitely remember seeing Serpent Knight Dragon at like card shops and stuff, and just being like, "Oh, that's so cool." Hummingbird, most powerful card. Can't change my mind. They actually just got support. You can even get this card in collector's rare. It's like $30, I think. Well, I'm not a big fan of like the Nouvelle archetype, just because it doesn't have the same energy as Hungry Burger. It just, I don't know. It feels too like modern. You know what I mean? Like modern art type of deal, and not just kooky crazy food products. Though some guys got retrains though. I mean, Wall Shadow got its retrain. I feel like we're gonna get a Labyrinth Wall retrain for Gate Guardian sooner than later. Heals on Ryu, Heals on Ryu, and Serpent Knight Dragon both have speed dual decks, which are pretty fun. Though the Heals on Ryu one kind of pisses me off more than anything because it feels like a bargain bin Serpent Knight Dragon deck. But of course, we're not including speed duels. Also, a weird thing, for the longest time, I thought Umiruka was like icy waters and stuff until I saw like a close up picture and it's like, oh no, it's waves. There's a beach in the background. Surprised the shit out of me. Goodness, excuse me. Oh, we got to 5 likes. Let's go for my broke ass. Oh, of course, the Sanctuary. That's another card. The OCG art. I think this is the updated art. Goodness, like something in my throat. I think I'm dying. Yeah, the because this was, I think, that was a Dark Revelation or Dark Beginning. They changed the tombstones. It was like, like OCG style. I feel like I got something in my throat. Goodness. I I do remember one other thing too. MST negates. Definitely. I think for a while I thought these two cards, House of Adhesive Tape and Eat Gaboon, were continuous for some reason, continuous traps, which would have been nice. I was gonna mention. Oh, I think. Oh, this is OCG Dark Witch. Um, what was I gonna say? It was somewhere over here. Oh, Malevolent Nuzzler. So back in 2002, um, there was a tournament at a mall I went to during this format, and this dude wrecked me with Malevolent Nuzzler. He I don't remember too much from it. He had like Malevolent Nuzzler centric strategy, a lot of equips and just kind of looping it and shit. And I thought it was like the most busted thing. I'm like, yo, this my dumbass thought he had like a ton of copies. And I'm like, there's no way he has this many copies in his deck. And my little brain couldn't comprehend that he kept stacking it. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Seven likes. Yo. Who want Okay, is it time do we want to start this right now? Or do you all want to see some cool shit? I'll let y'all decide on that. Tier list or cool shit? Make sure to stay hydrated. I say cool shit. Switch this. All right. Check this out. Ta-da! Move it where my light is not right in the way. This is a ad print of Magic Ruler, which actually I was looking through my magazines earlier, and I actually have the magazine where this is from. So honestly, I could have just like made this myself instead of buying it online, but at least my magazine's intact. But that's pretty cool though. An app print. Last stream I showed my Metal Raiders one. I do have an LOB one and a Pharaoh's Servant one. Um, but I do not have any of the other ones because they kind of changed how they look, so it's not as cool looking, right? It looks more ad looking. But I think it'd be cool to have other ones or like big banner shit. But those are really expensive. I don't got that kind of money. So if you want to donate that, Nuzzler's bad wrong fun. What's up? Nuzzler is weird because it doesn't kill your draws like Deep Seated, so it's technically better, but also can't do the anti mill tech. Yeah, it's better in some ways. Like the life points kind of sucks, but I think if you get the choice, it's much better. Like more regard than that. So I'll take that. Other cool thing. I have a pile of shit like a couple hours ago. Like I prepared this shit for you all, by the way. Um, Mail day. Got some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I decided to open them on stream. It's not much because I know which ones these are, but I think when I get cards, I should just show them off. Yo, Duck and Near, what's up? I remember when I watched GX as a kid, pretty much every time someone had or someone heals Zanryu, they hyped the hell out of it. GX made me believe it was like a god card. It's really cool. Like just the defensive dragon made of like diamonds and shit. Like it looks badass. I love that. In I think it was Ghost from the Past. They released the ultra rare. Those are all the time, mind, especially Eternal Dual Soul. Oh yeah, I had well during my previous playthrough, I used I just had Horn and the Unicorn, and it's auto stacking bit me in the bud. Okay, so I got two cards. There are two cards in here. Anyone want to guess what they are? I'll give you a hint. It's from Dark Crisis. Well, one's from Dark Crisis, one's from Legendary Collection Yugi's World. Also, I like to keep the little penny sleeves for my collection. All right, so first card is Reflect Bounder. Ding, 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 ding. This probably doesn't want to autofocus if it's too close. Look at that. The other one I got here, which these are cards for, not for, I didn't get these for play. These are for like my like collection. Oh, ultra, yeah, the ultra. I love the ultra rare, just vanilla dragons. I think they're really badass. The other card is Imperial Order. So I'm very slowly building my collection for Yugi's World. It's a hard set to collect for because it is the largest Yu-Gi-Oh set. So especially some of the like higher rarity, like expensive cards. Uh, but I should have the at least the rest of my Dark Crisis cards I need are like currently in transit. So hopefully within the next couple weeks I should have a complete Dark Crisis set, which is very exciting. So that's cool. See some other things. I think so. I have the Magic Ruler set, but I think I'll show that after we do the tier list. So that said, what did the magazines think of Magic Ruler? Yes, I actually dig through my like giant box of Yu-Gi-Oh magazines to find these things. It's very exciting. Can we get to 10 likes by the way? These bad boys. I actually went through like a bunch of 2002, 2003 ones to see which ones actually discuss Magic Ruler because some of them talked about like had like the set cards, but not so much the uh like much else about it. Like look at this. Magic Ruler invades. Ain't that wild? What does it want to say? In case you haven't heard, Magic Ruler features cards from the Japanese sets Magic Ruler and Pharaoh's Servant. Introduces ritual magic cards and ritual monster cards. Talks about like what they are, yada yada yada. Even has like a compare and contrast of Magic Ruler and Metal Raiders. That's kind of cool, I think. Talks about like combos and decks. It also talks about some of the ritual stuff here. I think that's pretty fun. Now expect a Toon deck. Expect a Karate Man and Black Pendant combo. Demon Scout and Ancient Teleport. Amoeba, Guri Guri, and Angel's Mirror. And Emissary of Peace, Mysterious Puppeteer, and attack lower than 1500. Isn't that wild? Yeah, they use a lot of like the OCG names, like Dancing Soldier and Invitation to Dance. That's in there. The Horn of the Unicorn talks about if Angel's Mirror is great if someone uses germ infection or paralyzing potion on you. Black Pendant says you're probably thinking whoopee, but there's another power to the equipment card. It's like very very fun stuff. What's the name of the magazine? This is I think it's just YGO magazine. I think you can find this one for pretty cheap. They didn't really have much of anything. I think that was basically it for Magic Ruler. I mean, there's doesn't really have anything for like the decks in terms of like adding new stuff. I have like a ton of like DM era set magazines. Now this one surprised me. I was looking through my Beckett magazines and like Pojo magazines, and Beckett didn't really have anything much on Magic Ruler. I checked the one like before and after Magic Ruler, and there was one that talked a little in depth about Metal Raiders, but when it got to Magic Ruler, it kind of just glossed over it for the most part. Aside from like its top 10 cards, like up to that point, so not just Magic Ruler. So there really wasn't much from that. But surprising, this one, this Pojo magazine about Labyrinth of Nightmare, because I figured check some stuff from like Pharaoh's Servant era, and this one actually kind of had a couple stuff from like Magic Ruler. Top 10 Metal Raiders. Ah, top 10 Magic Ruler. Get a load of this. Is that pretty dope? So the top 10 Magic Ruler cards. You hearing me right now? Number 10 is Penguin Knight. Okay. Number 9, High Tide Gyojin. Number 8, Spellbinding Circle. Number 7, Delinquent Duo. Number 6, Messenger of Peace. Thought that card was better than Duo. Number 5, Axe of Despair. Number 4, Mahavilo. Number 3, get this, Weather Report. That's a rich one. Number 2, Cyberjar. And number 1, Relinquished. So no Confiscation or Forceful Sentry or Painful Choice or Mystical Space Typhoon. Like MSC is probably the surprising one. Like there's Snatch Steal. And I guess they don't want to give like all the like hand rip stuff on there. But even like High Tide Gyojin is essentially on there because it's just like it helps out the water deck, it sounds like aqua types. Because like it mentioned 7-color fish. And it's like, well, after that, you got High Tide Gyojin. It's just a little surprising. I feel like MSC is like the most basic good Yu-Gi-Oh card. Like especially compared to Weather Report. I mean, all the cards on here compared to Weather Report. Like honestly, I'm surprised he didn't add like Amoeba on here or something. Or what was the fucking Hito? The dude that you can have like multiple monsters. MSC sounds like a bad nightclub. Yeah, I can kind of see that. I can kind of get that. So with Weather Report, it's essentially saying that everyone was playing Swords of Revealing Light. So it's one of the scariest cards in play and one of the hardest to handle. Well, okay, it's saying that in regards to Swords of Revealing Light. When Weather Report came along, it helped restore the balance. Is that true? I don't know about that. It's definitely an interesting card. 1500 defense isn't that bad. I guess from like a seal play perspective, I think that might have been it for Magic Ruler stuff, because this is already like past Magic Ruler. Like you talked about some stuff from Pharaoh's Servant and obviously the upcoming Labyrinth of Nightmare set. But yeah, I thought that was fun to like just show off that that whole stuff, and we'll cover the book, my core set a little bit later. But that said, let's do a tier list, shall we? So I think there's definitely cards that are like, yeah, these are really bad. Tyler, what's up? Sounds more like an acronym for a dodgy drug you find in a nightclub. Hey man, you want to try some MST? MST sounds like MS Paint, if you ask me. Now, I haven't done a top 10 best or worst Magic Ruler set, so this is all like baseless basically at the moment. Aside from the list that we just saw, which according to that, it was these cards. Let's get all 10 up here. Where's Blind as a Bat? Blind as a Bat. High Tide Gyojin. Or any of the other cards. I cannot see any cards I'm looking for. Was Cyberjar on there? I don't remember. Oh my god, what I'm blind. There you are. Okay, what were the 10 cards? I had the memory of a goldfish, mind you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do I have to reference the thing again? I am memory of a goldfish here. Because they weren't anything like too terribly specific. Hungry Burger, easy S rank. Oh, they even have like top 10 tournament pack cards. Penguin Knight, of course. Which I already have them. They did have Cyberjar. Okay, cool. Spellbinding Circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and Messenger of Peace. Which is somewhere. There. So according to this book, these are the top cards. Which obviously may not necessarily be the entire case here. So that said, how do we divvy up these cards? Which, by the way, we are almost at 10 likes. There's 2 left. I believe in everyone. So I think Duo is S tier. I mean, it's very scary. Just 1k life points, rip 2 cards out, just like that, easy. 1 like away from 10 likes. Holy smokes. But even like Spellbinding Circle, like I don't know, it seems like a weird one. Like that, like High Dai Gyojin and Weather Report and Penguin. Like all these cards are just like, what? That's crazy. I think Penguin Knight's probably a C, just for like side deck tech. Because he could theoretically come back and unite the deck. Cyberjar in S. He is pretty wild. Is Cyberjar legal in the TCG? Do people play Cyberjar? Did get banned. Do we include just like any card that got banned in S? Is that like the our bar? Because I suppose that would be a fair bar. Though Konami thought they were like terrible enough to get banned. Duo Comfy, Forceful. People say back then was balanced. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't like end games entirely. Like I've definitely had games where I played all three. Then it's like, well, they have a lot of cards less, but now I use like three cards and I don't have nothing else. So it is not, like the game ending whole thing. Yeah, especially when like chaos like monsters like added to the game. I mean, like it's magical, right? Like it's known for like the spells. I would even put MST in S. I don't know if I would add anything else in S. Just from looking at the card pool, I think MSC is high A. Trunade, well, Trunade got banned. Like, unite the grave. We just got one more like left before we hit 10. I mean, Giant Trunade got banned, and it was also like one of the key cards for burn strategies and like OTKs and stuff. It might be a bit underrated. I feel like it's fairly fair. I could see an argument for A though. Black Pennant, I don't know. Tomato, I can see an argument for. I think tomato. I think MSC is S tier. I think that card is just being like what it is, and just being prevalent for so long, really just speaks for itself. I mean, Pendant is good, right? Like reversal quiz OTK. I could definitely see an argument for that. Upstart Goblin is one that's also interesting to me. Yeah, Trinity just like it doesn't seem like as good like upfront compared to something like Heavy Storm or even MST, but it just does so much. Upstart I'm thinking A. It's not as inherently busted. Weather Report, is Weather Report C or D? Megamorph, that's true. I put Megamorph should go in A. OTKs and whatnot. For the list, I'll put him down there. For the list. Yeah, Goblin sees a lot of play. I mean, I am not arguing at least A, but I don't think it's as strong as these because it essentially is just like a quick little draw, right? It's not as like I wouldn't say it's the same level as Pot Agree. You know what I mean? Do we agree on these other four cards though in A tier? Axe of Despair, Relinquished, Maha Vilo, and Messenger of Peace. That's something. we agree on, or is this something that should be changed? Axis Spare and Maha Vilo are B. Yeah, I can fuck with that. Very good, but not necessarily like defining per se. They definitely did see play. It's just like all encompassing. Like we gotta keep in mind, just like like the card design. Um, it's not as like straightforward as like, oh, this card, because there's no way you can have an argument for a card only being good back then or a card only being good like later down the line, because then it's like it starts to get murky. It's like, well, MSC is played nowadays, but back then, or like High Tide Gyojin, like nowadays it's complete trash, and that's I don't think that's really fair to the card, right? Like just as designed. So I think it's fair to like consider everything within the TCG's limits. Just so like, because if it's like modern, then yeah, like a lot of these can just go to D, and that wouldn't be very fun. But if it's just like in the set, then I feel like it's giving too much leniency to like some cards that are technically better than others. I think Electric Snake goes in C2. Probably Minar, just more like side deck stuff. Do we put Black Pennant in B purely because of Reversal Quiz OTK? 9 views, 9 likes. Do you know what sounds better? 9 viewers, 10 likes. Boom. Or 8 viewers, 9 likes. Oh no. Um, I feel like B, it's probably fair. Yeah, like Maha is definitely a good, um, because of like what he can do, especially what he could do at the time. The spare is really good too. Just adding 1,000 attack is like nothing to scoff at. I just think the problem is then we like immediately start to see other uh really good equip cards that aren't so reliant on the attack that have better uses otherwise, like Mage Power, United We Stand, um, Big Bang Shot in some situations. I mean, even Black Pendant when it comes to like Reversal Quiz OTK. You just didn't really don't really see it too terribly often, which is kind of weird for that card. Boss Brown, what's up? Binamin. Absolutely. I honestly think Axis Fair is probably slept on a little bit. Because like that 1K just does a lot. Like we don't really see stuff like that, right? Lee, what's up? You quit dueling? Oh no. I'm honestly surprised we haven't seen like Axis Spare, but like a 2K version. Like we have, what was it, like Psychic Sword or something like that? It's kind of similar. But I think we need like a double-handed Axe of Despair or something. Some like retrain. That's a little nutty. That would be fun as shit. I think as we start trimming down the cards, we're gonna see some like interesting things. UFO Turtle, I'm gonna put in B for the like Machine Decks of 2007. Delinquent OBS if I did it which way? I mean, the only what would be interesting because like we know hand rips are like can still wreck an opponent, but obviously it causes other issues with like consistency with like combos and stuff. But that said, that's just most cards from uh that isn't like combo extenders. Like we get a lot of like really strong equip cards. I think the thing is with Axe of Despair, a lot of other equip cards just had effects that were different than just purely gain, like 500, 700, 1,000 attack. Like even Unite We Stand was like increased because of this, which I think was like a key change, like for philosophies for equip magic. I think Guardian of Throne Room is C. I know there's some like rogue goat decks I like using him. Do we just put like all the recruiters in B? I mean, aside from like Tomato, because they're honestly they did a lot in the game. Am I missing one? Shiny, wait, Shiny Angel. Yeah, Shiny Angel. Giant Rat is A. Oh yeah, cards from Memento. Yeah, yeah. They just announced that twin-headed Thunder Dragon. I mean, I could definitely see an argument for all of them being an A, maybe, or at least these two. I don't know about Mother Grizzly and Shining Angel because I feel like Shining Angel he only kind of exists to get himself out for the most part. Like yeah, you got like DD Warrior Lady and Roulette Barrel, but yeah, fuck it, fuck it, put them all in. I think them existing is just like good enough. Yeah, like I was immediately thinking like, well, there's like agent decks and shit. I'm trying to think of like meta decks that use Mother Grizzly though. I guess Catapult. What was this you were saying about THT THTD? T twin headed. Oh yeah, there's so they just announced a Memento boss monster, the first extra deck monster, and it is a like Memento twin headed Thunder Dragon. I don't know when it comes out, OCG first, but I would even say Angel is even a staple in Goat. I definitely saw it more during Chaos format. And you do see some Chaos Recruiter decks, but they're not that popular, I would say, in the long terms of things. Yeah, I don't know why his streams like sometimes gets a little laggy. I try to have it on like low latency, as like low as I can, but there's some fun cards in Magic. I mean, there's a lot of fun cards in this set. Um, some really interesting cards. Darkness Approaches. Rush Recklessly is really neat. Taylor the Fickle, I think, is also like really fascinating. Wall Shadow and Labyrinth Wall. And this. And that. It is a really cool set. Like when you're looking at all the cards. And I feel like it's not going to be as heavy down below comparatively to uh, like Metal Raiders. Where are we on likes right now? 9 likes. We need 10, yo. Come on. Psychic Kappa is B because of Totally Awesome for people that couldn't get Slime Toad. I'm sorry, Frog the Gem. Chain Energy is B. Those burn decks that use it are scary. Terry, 10 likes. Yatta! Holy guacamole. Can you believe this? Oh! Yeah, Twin Head Memento. That's super cool. I like to get a Memento deck, but I also don't want to pay like, I don't know, like $21, $25 for a playset of Fairy Witch. For like it's not like I even play it with anyone because I can't get anyone to fucking play it near me. At least like my like core friend group anyway. Yo Yami, what's up? Malevolent Elder being schoolyard material. That's definitely an argument. Oh, it's coming out in Legacy of Destruction. Also, what a classic, great classic name, Legacy of Destruction. That sounds like a GX era. And there's like Light of Destruction and like Legacy of Darkness. Now we're getting Legacy of Destruction. It's very, very fun. Oh, Flying. Oh, wait, this is another one. I don't think he belongs in A, though. See, where does Flying Comic? Yeah, A or B's fine. B's fine for him. Like, recruiters are recruiters. Just Win, unfortunately, is kind of the worst of them, sadly. Never really found its place as far as I'm aware. I could be mistaken. Banisher minimum B. Banisher is really good too. Banisher, yeah, Banisher seems like a B tier. B tier. I'm gonna put Griggle and Amoeba in B too, just because like I've messed around with them. They could technically do stuff, which is more than like the ones in D tier, which are just kind of like the unfortunate casualties, the pawns, the grunts of the sets, you could say. And I'm gonna put Tyhone number 2 in C tier also because it is unique for like its stats because it was used in Hazy Flame decks, even though Hazy Flame is like a trash tier deck. I think the fact that it's able to make use out of like a vanilla level 6, um, like fire monster, like is more than a lot of these cards get, right? I think that's worth like something more than some of the other cards. See, Magical Labyrinth can go down there. Do. This is a side deck card. I feel like I've seen it in side decks, so I can go there. I think Karate Man is also a side deck card I've seen before. There was and could be a time where Kododama floodgates the meta. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Kododama is really unique. It's definitely has an effect like of its time where it's really fucking weird, but at the same time, it could come up. We've seen like old cards come up. I mean, last stream we were just talking about Mushroom Man, number 2. Octo Berser, I think that's his name. Octo Berserker. Would you like to make some fuck berserker? My love for you is like a truck berserker. Dark Zebra, I don't even know what the hell you do. I just know you're trash. Flash Assailant, I'm gonna say C. There are like Flash Assailant decks from the time, so like it's playable. Let's see. Hero Shadow Scout. I know I've seen him in decks. Uh, C is fair enough. Field spells now must have a search, protection, and floating effects. Attack boost is just a bonus. Yeah, I mean I've been like where I'm at in my Yu-Gi-Oh history series. We're definitely seeing the shift of the philosophy of field spells from what they used to be to now. I mean, back then we had a couple like weird ones. Necro Valley is like the big example. That was kind of like a one-off. We got a couple other weird ones like Zombie World. But then like I think Dragon's Ravine was that threshold of change where they really act more like continuous spell cards than field spell cards. In fact, I made a whole video about this. It was one of my like earliest videos, I think. I was just like talking about field spell cards. I believe the thumbnail is like Toon Kingdom, something like that. It was like "Are field spells good?" or something, some title along those lines. Performance of Sword is bad. I'm gonna put the rituals next to the ritual monsters. That's only fair. Trickstar Light Stage. I was in a tournament one time and I was facing Trickstar and I activated Prohibition because I was like really high on that card. And I could not remember what the fucking card was. So I'm like playing and I'm like, activate Prohibition. And I go, the Trickstar field spell. And he's like, oh no, you gotta name like what it is. He's kind of saying like in a jokingly kind of way. I'm like, come on, man. You know what I'm talking about. He's like, yeah, okay. And that wrecked his day. Like, take that, Jack. Whipped your ass. Ha 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 ha. See, Ceremony Bill, you're down there. Approaching Darkness, as funny as it is, can go down there. Same thing with Curse of Fiend, another like really weird card. Ha ha ha! Gasoline. Oh. If anyone's seen that movie, Rush Recklessly. I think Rush Recklessly is a B. I think just like a quick play, 700 boost is nothing to scoff at. And people have definitely messed around with it too. Like in GOAT format specifically, they're the quick play warriors, which I know isn't like meta or anything like that, but I just think like the card being what it is like really neat. You didn't really see something like that because it was usually trap cards, but having a quick play was like a totally different thing, and I think that's pretty wild. Taylor of the Fickle, I think, is also a C because it is a card that technically, like, you don't really see anyone play it, but it does have like some Fury uses. Gaia Force with Gigantus, Goblin Attack Force, General Elf, Marauding Captain, Berserk Gorilla, etc., etc. Earth decks. Yeah, Earth decks are strong. Absolutely. Reliable Guardian, on the other hand, is not very good. Because who really cares about blocking too much, right? I think Snake Fangs is probably down here too. Was that Horn of Light? A lot of weird, like, defensive cards. Spear Cretan. I'm going to put him in B. Spear Cretan, like, even just a TCG, I think he has a really cool effect. Dark Elf Megamorph. Ooh, that's scary. I dig it, though. We do have Megamorph up here, though. A tier. Yo, El Cheshire, what's up? Is that Metalfish the Metalfish? It is the Metalfish. Look at that boy. I feel like we need a Metalfish tier. Boom. There we go. Metalfish. It is Draguma Megamorph. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of like cool strategies you can definitely do with Megamorph, for sure. Solemn Judgment Megamorph. I mean, OTKs are crazy. See, Manga Reran, he's down there. Reran, he was our Lord and Savior when we played through uh Eternal Dual Soul for like a stream or two. Yeah, Cyber End Dragon. Anything with Cyberstein, really. They're not all banned currently. In fact, I don't think Tomato was ever banned. Snatch Seal, though, just got off the ban list in the recent list. I don't recall if Cyberjar is at one or not. I know these four are all banned, and I don't. Cyberjar might be banned. I don't. Actually, no. Cyberjar is not banned. Cyberjar is not banned. This just got off the list, and these are not on the list. Yeah, Painful Choice is. I could see these possibly come to one. I would be a little surprised, but Painful Choice, yeah, I don't think. They try to. They gave us Future Fusion. They had Errata Future Fusion. I don't think they're giving us Painful Choice. Truenade's banned. Okay, Truenade's been like off and on the list, right? I feel like MS. I don't know if MSC has ever been banned. It's definitely been limited. I don't know if it's been outright banned. Tomato hasn't, but Tomato's also just really good. Well, the thing with like these cards that they do take up a slot in typically rather tight decks that are all about like engines and consistency and stuff. Like even using a card like Brionac or like Moulin Glacia, cards that rip out of the opponent's hand. Was like Kashtira does not do that. The 1xyz monster or whatever. So yeah, having these that's like all they do. It's also like one less. I could see an argument for like maybe like Comfy because Comfy is like come in and out a little bit. Linker shouldn't make it to the metal fish tier. Well, because he's not a metal fish. Yeah, Forceful, like, yeah, maybe not, but I don't know. It's hard to say. Unless there's ever like a new hand trap that's like blocks discarding. Or I mean, shit, if he got this against like Dark Worlds, he could be. I am willing to put him in metal fish tier for a price. Toss up. Everyone's got a was it everyone's got a price and everyone's gonna pay 'cause $1 million man always gets his way. I think Senju and Sonic Bird are B for like being the first like ritual searchers. Rather nutty for that. Serpent Knight, ooh, Serpent Knight might be metal fish tier. Because I feel really bad putting that in D because it's in regards to just the TCG. Yeah, it's definitely D tier. But here's what I'll do. Look at that. Yo, Valuta, what's up? Do these guys go in metal fish tier? I mean, they're not metal fish, unfortunately. As sad as it is. How much of the set is Shaft in comparison to LOB? I mean, we can look at like the list right now. I mean, not counting the metal fish tier here, it's a way more balanced than like the previous ones. Obviously, you have way more fluff in the set, but that's just how sets are going to be in general, right? They're going to have less like key cards and more filler. Painful Choice is one of the funniest cards in retrospect. Imagine milling cards by your own choice. Yeah, like I'll pick this, I'll pick that, pick this. Your opponent can like pick one. Like yeah, just give me that. That's such a bad effect. Yeah, yeah. One thing I'll say I prefer from Magic to Yu-Gi-Oh is crediting the artist. His on Ryu looks different. There's no way to learn who did it. Oh yeah, Pokemon does that too. Pokemon will like list the artist. Why is Metalfish? Because it's Metalfish. Doi. Yeah, it's too bad. I know like a lot of the art, like it's accredited to Takahashi because Yu-Gi-Oh. But they definitely do. Like I have, it's in a box somewhere, but I have the art of the cards book that has a lot of just like pure art in it, and I don't recall like I don't think it says like who did the art in there. I think I might mention like where the card first appeared from. But yeah, no, that's definitely like an unfortunate thing. It's like who drew Psychic Kappa? Like Konami as a whole, in regards to Yu-Gi-Oh, does not do a lot of things. That would be very nice to know. um, which is where my channel comes in for trying to map everything out. Because they don't give us a lot of information for a lot of things. An artist is unfortunate one we'll probably never know unless they decide to do it, or unless maybe once in a while like some guy will come out and be like, hey, I did like these. But even that will only be a piece of the whole puzzle, because like we know a lot of them, like ones that are from the manga, like Relinquished is Kazuki Takahashi, but a lot of the other ones that aren't, like, yeah, I don't know, Monst Turtle, or he might have been from, but you know what I mean, like ones that are just completely not, might never know, like Recolors, like Taiho number 2. We might just never know. Slot machine going to put here. Jigen Bakudan can go here. I really like Firecracken. He's really unique, but I think he's D tier. 12 viewers, 11 likes. We got to have that math add up. Come on, bruv. Honestly, I can just away some of these cards. I'm like, what the hell does this do? I have the book. My Magic Ruler book. I was gonna show this off at the after do the tier list. So for those interested, yeah, Toll is terrible. 13 viewer now, never mind. 13-13, let's go. Woot woot. Eventually I'll be as big as Second Wind. Probably not. We need to get like you to a Cheshire. We need to get you, Will, and I to do a Yu-Gi-Oh podcast and convince Nick to do it. Since apparently Will is also like a huge Yu-Gi-Oh fan. Boar Soldier. Final Destiny, really bad. Discard 5 cards for all cards on the field, bro. Just use Dark Hole. I feel like Boar Soldier, wherever he is. Calling me something by a flip summon. Yeah, I've read enough. I've read enough. Next to Gaia Power. I mean, like I'm saying, where is he according to my book? Because I'm trying to my Magic Ruler set. Just remember what these cards, some of these cards do. There's so according to the Pojo magazine, there's definitely some hype with Fairies Mirror. I mean, you clearly have watched more Yu-Gi-Oh than I have. If you haven't watched it since Pendulum, there's only a Hogman entire franchise. We need a Hogman archetype, the Hogback. How about that? I think this card was a little more hyped up. Me market. Maybe I'll have Memento Boar. I think this card's C tier for sure. I feel like Adhesive Tape and Eat Gaboon, Eat Gabagool. They would be like they're theoretically. I always thought they were kind of fascinating. Where like they destroy like weak cards, basically, right? Like, isn't that really interesting? Just like as a card. Like, I feel like if they were floodgates, that would like I for a while I thought they're continuous cards. Like I thought these were like floodgates, and they're definitely not. B for boar. That's what I'm saying. No. Like I think these cards are really definitely interesting. Though it's hard for me to justify like past D tier, but I could see a C tier. I'm just saying. And you start busting in my bottle of water. My bottle of water. Good shit. Giant. I think Giant Germ and Momonga are B tier. That's not Momonga. Nimble Momonga. Just for, similar to like the floaters, where they get a lot. This card can be like used in time. This card is like pretty essential for like Necrofear decks. Gaia Force and Plasma B, Rising Air C, Fire 1D, and Umi Boar Soldier tier. Are we calling this Boar Soldier tier? Are we calling D? Manga is also one of the early games mascots in the community. Oh, that's cool. I also like flying squirrels. Or a sugar glider or whatever the hell it is. It's a flying squirrel. Yeah, it's got the tail. Sugar gliders, I think, have smaller tails. So, House of Adhesive Tape, um, will destroy. It's a trap that destroy killer squirrels. That's my squirrel sound. So, House of Adhesive Tape, um, if the defense of a monster summoned by your opponent, excluding special summon, is 500 points or less, the monster is destroyed. And eat Gabagool. If the attack of a monster summoned by your opponent, excluding special summon, is 500 points or less, the monster is destroyed. Now, I feel like I don't know why they exclude special summoning. Isn't that like really bad? Like they didn't need to have that. That wouldn't really affect anything. I think that kind of kills it, right? That you can't hit special summoning. Oh yeah, that I know what you're talking about, Cheshire. Oh, how much life points I lose? 4,800. I mean, I suppose I probably have the same like sound effects. You know, it's all like I feel like most of the sound effects I'll make would be like Banjo Kazooie sounds. Like, oh, what sound does Boar Soldier make? Like just repeat grunts, basically. It's like a way worse Slifer effect. Ouch. But the art's so cool too. Burp. Oh, I can burp. I can burp. Yeah. Oh, I was trying to convince myself to put these like higher up, but I feel like they're like way too specific because it has to be like a normal summon or set, and it has to be like a certain low attack. Like again, if these cards would be like if I could just redesign these cards, oh, Boar Soldier burps, burp, 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 burp. You ever burp like burp? um, yeah, like I feel like these cards could have been easily redesigned as one, not like cut out any like summon exclusions and make them a continuous trap. Bam, significantly better. Yeah, Ryu, what is up? Welcome to the stream. So I've put Performance of Sword down here. Honestly, the other ones I could see just because like um Crab Turtle has like really high attack. And I think it's a little like in terms of like this set specifically, it's a little slept on. Um because it has like what was it, like 2550 attack. Graceless, what's up? What is going on? I think Crab Turtle is like just from a stat like he's the highest attack of that. And I think of like the ritual monsters from this set. And I think that's pretty dope. And I honestly will put Hungry Burger in C2. Um this card can be a lot of fun just as like a dark level 6 warrior. Yeah, beats Summon Skull by 50. Um I've actually built, and this was at God, I don't know, this was 8 years ago. I don't know. Like I built a chaos like a chaos rank 6 deck with Hungry Burger that essentially use like chaos monsters and use rank 6, self-explanatory, which was really funny. And I've won a few games at the time with it. I think that's perfectly fair. Have you seen the meme stress people around Burger with like the new Vel archetype? I have not. Janjo, I read your reply on Discord yesterday. Oh yeah, no problem. Like I might have like an amoeba. I know like reading that like a lot of the cards like I like I don't have more than like one copy of because a lot of the cards I had to get to complete like my core sets. Um, and I know I have a bunch of like European copies of Magic Ruler cards, but like nothing of any like high rarity. And like a lot of stuff I did have, went in this. Like I have a whole thing of like bulk stuff, but it's I don't know. It's not even like that great stuff. Like all the good stuff I put in a separate binder, and that stuff like I would probably know more. But if you do plan on getting stuff on TCG Player, down below I have my affiliate link, and I'll get some kickback if you buy some stuff using that link. Um, Missing some of the cards. I'm trying to catch up with chat here. I hate when my food tries to eat me instead of the other way around. When I eat a big meal, sometimes it feels like that. Let me just say. Um, I'm not missing any cards for Magic Ruler. I recently finally purchased, and I'm still waiting on in the mail, some remaining cards for which I opened these up earlier. Dark Crisis, and I have not started Invasion of Chaos yet. I have like some cards, but I don't remember what cards I have from Dark Crisis. But yeah, I plan on and then Yugi's Legendary Collection Yugi's World. I'm like slowly working on that one's hard to collect for. I'm like really slowly trying that. Oh yeah, definitely buy 2K cards. You're looking at. I don't get paid through it that often. Because it's like a small kickback thing. Uh, and I don't push it out like too terribly often because like it's kind of weird to push that out. Uh, but yeah, definitely if you're buying stuff, use my affiliate link. Like as long as you have like that tab open, when you like you can go back to it, and whatnot. Yeah, I'll get some like kickback. And the kickback is like it's just you know through like TCG Player. Dark Crisis. I don't think they're too terribly. Um, like there are some cards that are a little pricier, like maybe like a few bucks, which may seem pricier than they might should be. But I think the only ones that like even Exodia Necros wasn't like too terribly pricey, or like DD Warrior Lady. Uh, I think Vampire Lord was like the biggest one. It was like honestly, Dark Crisis is one of the easier sets to collect for because I usually give myself like a budget each time. Like I'm also slowly collecting Torment Pack 2, in which I kind of doubt I would get Morphing Jar, but one can hope. I also have some really interesting cards in this Magic Ruler set, which when we finish the tier list, I'll show those off too. It's really fascinating. We're slowly Whiptail. I feel like did people use Whiptail Crow in something? So we're almost at 15 likes. I think we can get to 15 likes. That'd be kind of dope. See, Malevolent Nuzzler and Horn of the Unicorn. Like they're just bad acts of despairs, right? I guess technically speaking, they're not trash because it has a little more utility than like Stimpack did, but yeah, it feels like Whiptail Crow is using something, but I don't know. I'm gonna look real quick. I don't see anything. Like he has decent stats, at least in regards to like High Tide Gyojin. But High Tide Gyojin was hyped up because like he is a water monster. The advantage over Axe Spirit also gives. Yeah, well, they also like stack. They can stack, like auto stack, or like they have like their own like more unique uses. But it's definitely way more very specific. Yeah, I don't think he had any specific uses. Yeah, I mean, you could Rest Rabbit for like a lot of things. Doesn't mean it makes them any specifically better. Uh, was a protector of the sanctuary, protector of the throne, invader of the throne. Whiptail Crow's death better than Gyojin? Well, according to the magazine we looked at earlier, Gyojin is one of the top 10 best cards of the set. Invader of the Throne flips like one post monster's control with this card combat during the battle phase. Ugh. Why's it gotta be like the battle phase? It'd be way better if it wasn't like had that one restriction. Because essentially, like, yeah, you can do like stall tactics. Like it technically has use, I guess. It's a little dirty, but I guess it has more theoretical use than some of the other cards. With swords. Well, Boku, yeah. Let's see. Eternal Rest, probably a C. Just clears all equip cards, right? It is like a really a side deck card, if any. Then we have, so currently it's like not. It honestly feels like fairly like balanced in terms of, like this is how like most core sets could probably feel like, right? Where they go like a pyramid, where it ends with the star on top, which is Metalfish. But where do we put the tunes? Tunes are really bad. However, it is very unique. Does equip cards, does it destroy all? I guess if it destroys all the monsters, then it destroys all the equip cards too, right? Destroy all monsters. Yeah, yeah. You can like quit monsters. Yeah, you can do like combos with it. Um, even use something like Big Bang Shot, like later down the line. So yeah, that's perfectly fair. I mean, it's not like it's worse than like Raigeki, but it technically like does clear stuff without any actual costs per se. So we need to get this up to 15 likes. Come on, guys. Who out here didn't like the stream? So tunes. So okay. So tunes are weird because Toon World technically doesn't do anything, but it is essential for Toon monsters. So therefore, it is like you have to play it. So I can't say it's trash, right? Like at the very least, it has to be played, and I think that means it's not D tier. Yeah, 1,000 life points to exist. That sounds like me. I have to pay 1,000 life points to exist. I mean, in this economy, huh? Taylor of the Tickle. I honestly think, like, aside from manga reread, I honestly think the other tunes are like pretty solid because Mermaid can special summon itself, which is good. And then this guy, like, it's just summon Skull, right? I used to have job experience. That is true. But hey, it's part of the grind, though. Why didn't they put the attack directly effect on Toon World instead? See, you're onto something, Taylor of the Pickle. You're definitely onto something. Yeah, like this card was Toon World's already heavily eroded from its first printing, which I've done a video about. Man-eating chest. So tech in the TCG. So in North America it was not, but in Europe it was. Yeah, so this card had like a way different effect in the OCG when it first came out. Before it was changed to just pay 1,000 life points. But yeah, no, I agree. They should have had. And don't worry about me. I'm going to talk about it when after we finish this. I'm going to go through this, and there's some interesting stuff in there, European stuff. Which this is just the uh, North American stuff. But yeah, they should have just gave like this more specific things and less text on like with Summon Skull, like distributing one for some like of all the monsters they could have added, like Summon Skull is a good one. One tribute 2,500. Yeah, yeah, no, I think I've talked about it in my European history video. They added there's a lot of cards missing from LOB and like the starter decks that for some reason I don't know why they did, but they eventually added them back in this set in Europe. And some of them were in different rarities too. It wasn't just like one for one, like Flame Swordsman, for example. Even Serpent Knight Dragon had a different. I'm gonna get to the. I'm gonna say the Serpent Knight Dragon story when I get to the book. And even Blue Eyes, honestly, like again, like of all the monsters they could have picked from, also got 15 likes. Wow, 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 wow. I'm gonna go over it when I get to the book. Um, of all the cards they could have picked to have Toon monsters, like Summon Skull, one tribute 2,500, good. Are there any cards you can start deck that have never been reprinted? Probably. I wouldn't know off the top of my head, but nothing that's like relevant, I would say. Like I'm sure stuff like I don't know, was it Master and Commander, Master and Servant or something, or Dehuman, like just kind of whatever. Yeah, I was gonna say like of all the monsters, like a one tribute 2,500 and a two tribute 3K direct attack is really nothing to scoff at. Like, sure, it's not good by summoning sickness and requiring Toon World and stuff, but just having like a 3K direct attack on paper is like really good. So now that leads us to the field spells. Now, I do not think they're all created equal. I think Chorus of Sanctuary, like in the video games, is really annoying, but I don't think it really does anything that's like of use. Like even in stall decks, you just have better stall cards. Like if you have a 2K defender, like that's fine enough, honestly. Some of these cards, like at least in like GOAT format, see experimentation like once in a while. Like I don't think any of them are top tier. How did Yugi get Claw Reacher from Joey? I mean, his grandpa works at a card shop. Attribute card shall be A tier. I don't know if they're A tier. Chorus just gives a buff to defensive everyone. It basically does nothing. Yeah, it is. It kind of. I mean, all these cards give like a field wide boost, which can sometimes bite you in the butt. Like we've seen like someone win one of the GOAT format Nitro Circus with a Mystic Plasma deck, which is also like a really tricky card because gives boosts to both. Very common. Molten is like really good in fire decks, honestly. Like I've played some fire decks where I run like one or two copies, and while it may not be like the linchpin card, it's still like a solid tech card for fire cards that kind of need a little extra oomph. Even like Rising Air Current, like Umi, like all these cards, I think maybe aside from like Luminous Spark, have like seen like messing around with like their specific decks. Like even Gaia Power, like people, like as soon as people start cutting like Gaia Power and like Chiron the Mage from Goat Earth decks, and did more like of like the pure beatdown stuff, it just like went became way better, right? Because I think the problem with the attribute field spells again is like they increase attack, but usually that's you need more than that in a deck, right? To like have the deck really work. Like they're nice utility cards. And I think a lot of people see them as cards that the deck needs to revolve around. When usually that's not the case if you want to see like them used to their max potential. Umi Ruka is inferior to Umi chemistry. Well, you can still play Umi Ruka and Umi, but only like 3 sets later we would get a legendary ocean, which is just better than Umi anyway. But the Umi Ruka boost still is higher. So like the boost is like see, like, but the thing is the 500 boost is really good, like on paper, right? Like a nice 500 attack boost. Like that's nothing to scoff at per se. I mean, that improves a lot of um like damage threshold. And yeah, Legendary Ocean is way better. Um but water is also a little more like specific with its field spells. I mean, I don't think any of the other ones have like I mean, yeah, eventually we'll get more like unique attributey stuff like was it Samorg's hunt there's like I mean you got like Harpies Hunter Ground for Harpies and you got like Samorg's whatever the Samorg one was called. It wasn't Samorg Hunting Ground, it was Samorg something. But you know what I mean. Maiden of the Aqua has seen some play in like modern Kyrushin decks. I like one copy. Seal of Orichalcos. I mean, in the anime, sure, yeah, but that's the anime, and it's not like anyone runs Seal of Orichalcos otherwise. Has that been a thing? I don't watch. What was it Dazif, the guy who makes those like why nobody plays? Has he done one for Seal of Orichalcos? Is Ansatsu only released in Yugi's starter deck? Was Ansatsu not released in LOB? No, just starter deck Yugi. I like Ansatsu. Ansatsu's a cool card. Okay. Yeah, I don't watch like the big Yugi tubers, so that's a interesting card. I'm a little surprised we haven't seen more Orichalcos, like the other like rings of the Orichalcos. Like we have Orichalcos Shunaros and Divine Serpent Gay, but that's like about it. Like, I feel like it's only a matter of time before we get Orichalcos cards, right? But these field spells are interesting. Are they B or C? I think that's like the crux of the issue here. Oh, not as good as Janjo. Well, no one's Janjo. Let's be real here. There's only one Janjo, and that's this guy. Anyone else, I'm just gonna step on my way to the top. Oh yeah. I'll make sure to remember all the small people I have had to step on to get to where I am today. Nah, they're all cool, I'm sure. But I'm the only one. I make historical videos and I back it up. I actually go in depth. I do the research, which arguably melts my brain. I feel like Luminous Spark is definitely C. Pale Beast was, I believe Pale Beast was Europe, was in European MRL. No, wait, no, Pale Beast was in Metal Raiders. Yeah, Pale Beast was in Metal Raiders. I could. Yeah, this is tough. I'm leaning towards C. I think at one point I was thinking B. But I don't. Oh, you want for tacos? You get me any? I man, I really wish I had a Taco Bell closer to me. There is like a Mexican restaurant like right near me, but it's like it's not a fast food. I can't just go through like a drive-through. The closest like fast food area there's a McDonald's and a Dunkin' Donuts. That's it. I don't plan on covering the starter decks, but I suppose if enough people ask for it. The main thing right now is just packs. I don't plan on doing like tournament packs or anything like that. It's not a taquero style Mexican fast food. The tacos sound good. I haven't tacos in a while. I once did a TV commercial for a guy that made his own enchilada sauce, and I actually went to his house to like film the commercial, and he had like a storyboard that was like it looked professionally drawn. This was like six storyboard. Like he went full on with it, and I even got like a jar, and it's really good. It had like a really good chipotle flavor, and I really like that because chipotle. I think chipotles are like too spicy for me, but I love the flavor though. There is like a taquera style taco shop not too far from me, but it's not like it would take me like 10 minutes to get there. That place is really good though. I think it's just called the taco shop. Hungry Burger. Yeah, Hungry Burger should have like that. That's the problem I have with the Nouvelle archetypes that they don't seem to have the same fun that Hungry Burger kind of like memes itself with. What I like about Mexican food is that like it's very simple stuff, so you can get like a lot of it, and I really like that. Like they really like compact the food, and it's delicious. So what are we thinking on the field spells? Yeah, not a fan of the Hungry Burger archetype. Now I gotta do it. Hungry Taco. Ooh, Hungry Taco. You're speaking my language. For anyone who doesn't know, El Cheshire does a lot of fantastic art. Field spell should be B. No pun intended. So the field spells are like they're just really interesting, I guess. Right? Plasma and Luminous are the worst ones because the thing is though, like again, like I think Nitro Circus proved that like you can still win like jank tournaments with Mystic Plasma Zone even when other people are playing it. I feel like Luminous Spark is like the only one. Like honestly, like I think Umiruka has much better like viability than like Luminous Sparks. Because I definitely like I feel like I've never seen anyone even like use Luminous Sparks in decks. Right. The new Veil archetype looks fun, except I think like two of the cards are a bit on the pricier end. Like not not like they're $30 cards, but like pricier than they should be. A few Lumi uses. I haven't personally seen any. Like I know they don't people don't play it in like the light like the fairy beat deck in goat format. Like I've definitely seen like Windex mess around with Rising Air Current. I've seen this a bit more Molten Destruction. Gaia Power saw like a little bit more play like Earth decks. I think Gaia Power would honestly be the one I would bump up to B. Light Dragons. Well, let me see here. I what the hell is this? Regional Zaragoza 2016. No, that's nothing. Luminous Spark, nothing. Crab Turtle. We definitely had a Crab Turtle archetype. Crab Turtle Memento. Because Light just doesn't feel like it has enough like solid targets to make it really worth it. Like comparatively. Like yeah, you can play like light only decks, but just better. I mean, a lot of problem is there's just better cards to play that help you out in like more situations. And that's the problem with these field spells. I feel like Luminous Sparks is definitely the worst one because like all these other cards, like I've actually seen Mystic Plasma Zone work is like the thing. Like it's one a Nitro Circus, which is like a goat format event thing. And the other ones like they have they can help out the monsters like pretty good, but I guess Legendary Ocean kind of makes this a little redundant because it's just the better version of that. And these other cards kind of very yeah, I guess they're way more niche like in their decks anyway. So I think C is fair. I mean Gaia Power is the best one I would say. But even that is also like we saw that when like I mentioned earlier when people started cutting Gaia Power, it's improved like just the Earth deck. Performance of Sword. I mean, yeah, I hope like a lot of these older cards like Reran I think definitely would be fun to have some love. Like have a dragon egg archetype. Have a bunch of like different eggs. Maybe do like an evil tile thing, right? Where it's like they starts at, you have a bunch of these different eggs and they turn into different kinds of dragons. That sounds fun as fuck. Let's do that. Performance of Sword. You can have a bunch of like spell cards that are different dance performances and stuff, and they have different interactions with that. Like, it doesn't take too hard to like think of these, at least for me. I kind of think of it. Old school vanillas and the other one of monsters are right for archetypes. Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're slowly seeing that with like some of them. Like reading like the that Silent Force, Voiceless Voice stuff, of Skull Guardian. We're seeing that. And that's coming out. It's probably fairly meta relevant pretty soon. And that one has surprised me. Like Skull Guardian? That TP2 ritual monster? What? So, I mean, who's to say? Take a dice roll centric. We do have that dungeon dice archetype though. Like we got some stuff. It was like a year or two ago, right? We got dimension dice and dice dungeon, that stuff. Ceremonial bell should not be rank D. Ceremonial bell. Let me look that card up. As long as card remains face on the field, your opponent must show their respective hands to each other. Doesn't really do anything. Because it harms the danger archetype. I mean, you can play it. I feel like with danger, it's just, I don't know. Just run better cards than the danger cards, I suppose, to like counter it. Have people cited Ceremonial Bell? Not that I see. I see where you're getting at, but like you're just summoning a weak monster. Otherwise, that all does is counter dangers. But that feels like it's not doing enough to like deal with the issue at hand. But I guess that's kind of a pun. Dealing with the issue at hand. I mean, I think this is a pretty fair list, though. Because again, you can, and I say this during each of these too. You could have an argument for like every single card, right? You could be like, well, this is a pyro aqua monster, then it could be, or Course of Sanctuary could like defend, or this can destroy a card or whatever. If Demise had level 4, 6, and 8 ritual monster, I think the other ritual monster should have different levels as well. Wasn't there like the Queen of Armageddon one? And wasn't there like a Demise retrain or something like that? Like the Supreme King of Armageddon? I don't think like they're level 4 or whatever. Now I've done a whole video talking about the ritual monsters from the set. And I honestly think that Performance of Sword should have been level 4. Because this would make the card like it has like the worst stats, right? It is like really awful. But if it was level 4, at least you could just send like one monster, like one low level monster, and get and special summon it out. That would be way better. I think because that would give it like an edge over other ones. I think Crab Turtle having the highest attack gives it an edge. Hungry Burger probably should have had an effect. I think I don't know what that would have been, but it should have had some like very basic effect. You know, maybe not to the level of like Relinquish, but just something. Maybe when it's like Ritual Summon, you can like add back the card you use for his ritual. You know, like something. Yeah, retrains and pre-trains and A trains. This is essentially the list, though. I mean, it's. I feel like this one's definitely a little more tricky to figure out because it's not all just like all the good cards and all the bad cards, right? It's a little more. Honestly, it's almost the same amount of C and D cards because I think a lot of like these C tier cards are very specific. It had like a lot of very specific cards. But I think it's also a testament to how what duelists were able to make of the set, which I think is really cool compared to like the higher ones, which are just like these are obvious ones for the most part. You're thinking of Dokuro Rider from TP2. Dokuro Rider, I've actually made a deck when I was making like deck videos. It was a Dokuro Rider zombie deck. I had a Speedle deck of that too. It was like really janky deck because he's like he got reprinted in Speed Duels, so I'm like might as well play him. All right, here's what I want to showcase now. Oh yeah, that'd be a really cool archetype. Okay, let's go through Magic Ruler, shall we? So this is my like full set of Magic Ruler. I got the green, and if you take a card out, green. Look at that. Look at that. Maybe a little anal about it, but whatever. Blue Eyes Toon Dragon Secret Rare is really pretty. I really like this Secret Rare. This is definitely the most expensive card of the set, but like that shine it gets though, it's gorgeous. Toon Dragon looks so fun. Yep, these are in set number order, so you'll see it's like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's Metalfish, of course. Spellbinding Circle. I remember seeing this card. I think it was like an OCG copy. Originally, I saw this like before. I want to say before it even came out. How would that make sense in the monster lore at the time? Oh, I don't know. I've always liked Amoeba, just like creature swapping, dealing 2K. I tried this in a plant deck. I tried this and Griggle in a plant deck, and both times, like, yeah, they're kind of underwhelming, unfortunately, but it's really cool. Yeah, I talked about my story about Nuzzler being wrecked out of tournament with that. Vilo is really cool. This card being like a super rare, I'm sure like hyped it up more too, just with like the equip strategy. Um, Guardian Therm. This was actually using Guardian decks because this can be searched out with Arsenal Summoner, and its stats aren't too bad for Goat format. 1650, 1600, and having it be a light type, a monster peacock. Yeah, it's just called Peacock. Like that's it. It's just a normal ass peacock. Everyone's fine with peacock, but as soon as you start saying poop cock, everyone loses their mind. I've always liked Firecrack. It's just weird. It's a fire aqua. It feels really out of place almost. Tile number 2. This card is actually used in Hazy Flame decks, which is why I put it in a C tier because it's like it's something. It gets right more than a lot of other cards. Mons Turtle actually wasn't too bad when it first came out in the OCG. I will be talking about that a little more come a starter box video, which I think that will come out next month. So, you'll be able to watch it early if you're a Janjo patron whenever I decide to post that up. Yeah, the most ordinary monster of all Yu-Gi-Oh! If Firecracken is the Suship. Yeah, eventually they made that Suship archetype. Mechanical Snail, Hero Shadow Scout. Haitai Gyojin actually saw some play in Speed Duels. Weather Report's cool. It's actually a recolor of another OCG monster called Weather Control, which is like a blue color version of that. Which I believe I do have the OCG copy of that. Yeah, Whiptail Crow, like these cards like back to back, really, just about with this having a little better stats. High Gyojin, there was like speed duel skill for that. Let's see. We got slot machine. Slot machine, I think, could use some like support. I think that'd be really cool. Or like a retrain. Like we got like BM4 Blast Spider and Desperado Barrel Dragon. I think it's time for a slot machine. At the very least, like a speed dual skill. I think with 7 complete. Do I have all the OCG exclusive cards from the volume set? I have a complete volume 1 set and a couple of other just like random cards. So that's what I have. I only have one complete set from that. And it's not even like first ed, none of the stuff is like first ed or whatever, but it's at least like there's no 25th anniversary stuff here or anything like that. And it's not all like near mint, it's my own collection. Zoa definitely needs a retrain. Or again, at the very least, like a speed duels thing to get that and Red Ice Metal out. I would love that. Upstart common, can you believe that? Darkness Approaches was really weird because this one I like the weird ruling of putting a monster to face down attack position, which they eventually eroded within the last like 5 years or so. So I think it's just more of like I think it's just face down defense position now. Well, Zoe had metal Zoe, but I don't know if it had any retrain other than that, unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, and this is like this is Magic Ruler right here, right? For the most part, all like solid cards except for like two. Or these two. And the Albaz archetype. Yeah, Book of Moon won't come out until like slightly under a year later. Horn the Unicorn should have been a higher rarity, I think. That should have been at least a super rare. That would have looked really cool. Yeah, Psychic Kappa was used to get out Totally Awesome for a bit when Frog the Jam was a bit pricey to get because of Totally Awesome. Wall Shadow is kind of weird. Like it was a fusion in the anime, and it's just terrible otherwise. Like this card should have had a direct attack, I think. Bunch of other cool looking cards here. We got that ultra rare Megamorph. I believe that. It's kind of hard holding this, just like my hands not getting too tired. I'm trying the best I can. I apologize. Yeah, for Performance of Sword, this is actually technically uncensored. Dogmatica Albazoa? I'll have to check that out in a bit. In the speed duel, actually like covered more of her like bra up a little bit. Which is weird because like they took until speed duels to do that. Which I don't get. I've actually made I think it was this one. I actually made a custom like art like a different palette for it to make it match Commencement Dance. Because this is essentially just like a recolor of the other one. Like it's the same design, just different color, right? We got this one. Like it is kind of a shame too that Relinquish was the only high rarity ritual monster. Like they didn't even give like one of these a rare. They gave Manga Reran a rare. Which, by the way, if you're curious about Manga Reran's name, it Reran's Japanese name it translates to Dragon Egger, right? So instead of just calling it Dragon Egg, they just called it Reran. So I guess Dragon Egger sounded weird or whatever. So for Manga Reran, they didn't want to go back and change its name to something that was different from Reran. So they kept Reran. But they didn't want to change Toon because Toon was like an American thing. So they instead took Toon and added and made like the Japanese version, which is manga, basically, more or less. So that's how we have manga reran. It's the only time they ever did that. So it's not like this card in OCG was like a manga card. It was Toon Dragon Egger that they just, changed and never changed it back or anything like that. That's the story of manga reran for you. I think this card's a little on the pricier side. This ultra rare Toon Mermaid. They could have just done like Toon. I don't know. Like I get it, but in hindsight, it's not maybe not the smartest choice. Hiozaru definitely should have been a super rare. Like if you're gonna have a crystal dragon, give that thing some shine, man. Come on. But these two as like high rarity is really cool, especially the Toon Summon Skull card. Is really cool. It's like Banshee Light, like this, like another card is like sure, okay, it's another card that looks like it would be cool shiny, but compared to like other cards in the set, like I kind of probably would have preferred Hyozan Ryu personally for that higher rarity. Or even like Cyberjar, right? Like this card was just a rare. At least Toon World, this was a. I feel like Toon World, even though I am happy it's super rare, I feel like this one should have been a rare, just so it was easier to pull from the set to play tunes. Because remember, like these are just core sets, right? You're just getting random assortment of like what, like 5 or 7 cards or however much it is. Do you have all the cards that were released in the for the video game? I'm no, I'm slowly like building that up. It's not like a priority right now, but I do have some of them. I don't have, and I probably won't anticipate on getting like the original DDS promos, but I have some of them. I would cover the ranking for the cards that were released in the video games as well. Probably not, but who's to say? Yeah, Senju. This is they had changed the art for this, completely changed the art. A bunch of other just like it definitely had a lot of they were definitely improved monsters in this set, even though it wasn't like the main focus. But with like the floaters and stuff, and other just kind of like weird cards like Giant Germ or even like Flash Assailant, was like kind of interesting. I think it really did a lot just for getting more consistency with like deck speed and monsters and whatnot. I mean, in hindsight, yeah, Miss Tomato like would have been great as an ultra rare. Yeah, yeah, Senju had like it was like the 10 trillion hands, like that tribute one that feels like a card that would have been in like that and Magician of Faithfulness feel like those Soul of the Duelists, like Rise of Destiny, like retrain stuff. Like when we got Enraged Muka Muka or Neo Aquamador. It's like those. Like they came out like 20 years way too late. Here are the field spell ones again. And here where it gets interesting, ladies and metalfish. Because the original artwork was like a Buddha, and they have to avoid like religious stuff, at least here in America, for whatever reason. So that's why you got different art. And like, then that extends to like these other monsters too. Where like Shiny Angel doesn't have a halo and Spear Cretan has like clothes on, stuff like that. Oh, Kodadama, yeah, he's really interesting. But yeah, here's where things get really interesting. So you might be thinking, wait, what the hell are Beaver Warrior? Mammoth Graveyard? I thought the set ends on Serpent Knight Dragon, this beautiful secret rare. Look at this. Ooh, there we go. Let me get a close up of this Serpent Knight Dragon. Serpent Knight is so cool. This card needs like its own archetype. I know there's that Starry Night archetype for Seiryu that sucks, but I hope they give some love with him beyond speed duels. Yeah, so in Europe, they actually because they for whatever reason, which we don't know, for whatever reason they cut out cards from the starter deck and LOB and like Metal Raiders and stuff. but they added it back in this set. Actually, I don't think it was metal. I think it was just the starter decks and LOB. So yeah, for whatever reason, it could have been like a printing thing. I don't know. That's my best guess. But yeah, they decided to just add the cards back in Europe. So I actually had a someone from Europe was able to like send me like get me these cards, which I'm like very thankful for. It took me a while to get them, but the set actually continues on. Like you'll notice that these are specifically Magic Ruler. How close I can like get with that? Like MRL, the 120 something. 10 E. So yeah, so it's MRL E103. E is like European, basically. When they had that suffix distinction. Oh, Serpent Knight's so cool. Yeah, yeah, no, you're not going crazy. Like this natural, like really interesting, like thing that like European only cards, which makes formats really different. Like European Yugi Kaiba format did not have Pot of Greed. So yeah, so we add all these like a bunch of interesting cards that they didn't have before that you thought they would have. I mean, like Man with Graveyard's one thing, but then you're like, oh, Flame Swordsman, and a different rarity. Like this is not an ultra rare. This is not a rare. Like these are different rarities, right? Like they're just different. Petite Angel, still has the halo. This was a rare, I believe, previously, or maybe I might be thinking of the OCG. But yeah, got like this was a rare before, certainly that was not now. And it's just like random cards too. Power of Kaishin, Mountain. Like, why did they pick these cards? I have no idea. It's just completely random. Pot of Greed, this card as a rare, totally different. This card is a common. Yeah, yeah, Pale Beast. Yeah, yeah, Pale Beast right there. Yeah, yeah, just completely like random ass cards. They just and then Serpent Knight Dragon here. This one's different. Um, and this one took me multiple attempts to get because this one you'll notice has a different suffix than the other. This one is MRLE130 instead of E103. Or which one was it? Yeah, MRL103. So these two cards, it's hard. It's hard to do this. I apologize. What's the easiest way to do this? Probably like this. Yes, I don't know if you can. I don't know if the autofocus probably is ass, but yeah, like they're different, right? And so yeah, I ordered this card a few times from like different places because they kept saying, "Hey, this is like I do believe I think they cost differently. I mean, it might depend like who's selling it because the problem I found with this one was that some of the places I ordered from said it was 130 because that's probably just what they're like looking at. However, um, I'll just back. The thing that was going on was that I would get the card and it was just the North American one. I'm like, and this happened a few times. It took me a while before I'm like, hey, this isn't the right card. I'm specifically looking for this card. And I had to order this. I actually got these from Card Market, which is like the European stuff, which I actually had. I had a contact in Europe that was able to like send me like a bunch of these plus a bunch of other stuff. Um, oh, actually, and but yeah, and two other cards I'm going to show. But yeah, it took me a while to get this card, so I finally got it. And it's like really exciting. And then I did have these like two other cards here, like just in the back, just to show them off. And it was Hero Shadow Scout and Malevolent Nuzzler. Now, what is interesting about these two cards? So this Hero Shadow Scout is interesting. So the suffix is MRL, right? But if you read its effect reads flip, your opponent draws 3 cards, both players check the cards, and any spell cards among them must be immediately discarded to the graveyard. All right, now what sounds different about that? Did you notice what sounds different? It's MRL, but it mentions spell cards. So it's Magic Ruler printing, but with spell cards. Now, when did this guy come out? Well, we pretty much know when this guy came out. Um, so I believe it was because it's not a European copy either, right? Because it does not have the E suffix on it, so it is a TCG printing, like a North American printing. I believe this was like a reprint that was probably in the collection tins, like the collectible tins, before they reprinted them as before they reprinted Magic Ruler as Spell Ruler. And the Malevolent Nuzzler is like it's basically the same thing, right? Where it's MRL, but it specifies as a spell card. So I believe these are both like collectible tin printings. I I don't remember off the top of my head like perfectly. I definitely remember like at one point, but I believe that's what they were from. Were from those like like that sweet spot period of like prints. But I just keep them in the back because I think they're just kind of interesting to talk about. I had a lot to show for this. Let me just say, I like prepped this shit. I made sure it was like up and ready and whatnot to like work the way it did. So I mean, it is a fantastic set to like go back and like look over this. And like honestly, like I think the fascinating thing about doing this tier list is just like how not organized, but like how balanced the sets are. Like we saw with LOB and MRD, it's definitely bottom heavy. And while it's they all sets are probably going to have that pyramid shape, we are starting to see that it's a little more evenly distributed, at least in regards to like trash cards and cards that are still playable but may not be like meta defining stuff, which I think is really important for like a change of Yu-Gi-Oh as a whole. Is start seeing cards that do have more utility than not, and I think that's really cool. All right, well, I think I'm going to end the stream there. Once again, if anyone want to buy any cards, use my TCG player affiliate link down below. Currently on my Patreon, if you want to watch it early for as little as $2 a month, you can see the next video. It is a one of my side discussion videos, which I'm renaming that series to the side deck. Just to get a little more presentation involved with it. And then the following week will be the next Yu-Gi-Oh! History, in which we continue the Zexal era. So definitely keep a lookout for that. Oh yeah, yeah. Thank you for coming by. I'll probably be streaming next week as well. I guess we'll see. Take it week by week. In which next one we'll be doing the Pharaoh's Servant stream, which should be really fun. I don't know if I have as much stuff to like showcase, but I'll probably whip out my book and some magazines I can find, and maybe I'll have some more card opening stuff going on. I guess we'll see. But hey, as long as people are like stopping by and like enjoying the stuff, and I appreciate all you for sticking by. Can't if you watch the Chronicles vid. Oh, that it comes out tomorrow, so yeah. keep a lookout on my Twitter that like I kind of don't use. But I'm excited for that to like come out. Spent a lot of work on that. Excited for that for the next one too. Like, each one's just going to get better too. But yeah, so thank you for stopping by, and until I see you all next time, have a wonderful day.